So you want to be a great co-parent with your ex-partner, but you and your ex-partner do not get along. So does that mean that your children won't be successful or that you will not be a successful co-parent? Stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll talk about that misconception and I'll give you tips on how to have a healthy relationship even if you don't like your ex-partner or you're not friends with your ex-partner. So even the media even suggests and they portray that the ideal co-parents are ones that are good friends, best friends, and they are who are in constant contact with each other and they always agree. And that's totally unrealistic for a lot of people. And sometimes the movies and the media get it wrong. Because being friends with your ex-partner, the reason why I say it may be unrealistic, because as a co-parent, that's not what you're required to do. You're not required to be your ex-partner's friend. What you're required to do is to be able to co-parent with them, because trying to be friends with them might not be healthy mentally or emotionally for you based on your ex-partner. So let's just say if you had to take a mental survey to see, should I be friends with my ex-partner? Ask yourself these questions. First question, was the relationship volatile or hostile? Second question, was the person manipulative or toxic? And the last question, will the person take my wanting to be their friend as a sign to get back together? And based on your answers to these questions, instead of trying to be a friend, what you may need to do is be able to be a co parent with respect, with communication, and cooperation. So instead of focusing on trying to develop this friendship with your ex partner, focus on trying to develop a good co parenting relationship with them, keeping your child as the first and foremost, most important thing and as a priority in your relationship. So, what does that look like? What does it look like I said, to have a respectful, a cooperative, and a relationship with communication? So, let's look at that for a minute. And so, what does respect look like? Okay, so respect looks like, put my glasses on so I can see a little bit here. Respect looks like respecting each other's parenting time. Respecting each other's parenting time is that allowing your child to be with the other parent without you interrupting it, without you calling, without you dropping in, and without you interrupting. And that's something that a lot of parents do, especially some of my clients. They would say things like, I need to make sure that they're okay. I need to make sure that, nothing's going wrong with them. And what you're doing is you're interrupting their parenting time. Let me get back to this whole friendship, because there was a story kind of like I want to tell you a little bit about me. So with my ex-partner, I wanted to try to be friends because I had heard that you need to be friends with your ex-partner. And so that didn't really work too well, because first of all, in order to be friends with someone, you have to trust someone to be friends with them. And a lot of times people come from a place of hurt, mistrust, feeling like they weren't treated right. And you're saying to them, in spite of how you feel, you need to remain friends with this person. And it just doesn't work out, because you are a person that has emotions. And a lot of times the emotions come back up. If you feel like you've been hurt by this person, it's going to be hard trying to be friends with them, because that hurt is going to come up, that emotion. If you feel like the person has wronged you, that's going to come up. If you feel like the person left you and you had no indication of that, all of those emotions are going to come up. So you're saying being friends in spite of how you feel, but just keep the child as the most important reason why you need to remain friends. And that's why I said that's not really going to work. And so I'm going to give you tips to help you in spite of those things, of how you can still have a healthy relationship. So let's get back to this PowerPoint. Okay. And so the first one, I was saying that you have to respect the other person's parenting time, which is don't interfere with it and don't try to interrupt it. Allow them to have that same time that you want to have. The second thing is, you may not agree with every decision that the other person makes, but they still have the right to have that co-parent authority, meaning that as long as they don't put your child in any type of danger, realize that they want what's best for your child, just like you do, because it's their child too. What makes you think that you want the best for your child and they don't want the best? Like I said, as long as they're not putting your child in danger, then respect that they want the best for your child too. And then the last one is support your child's relationship with their co parent, meaning allow them to build that loving relationship with their other parent. Don't call names, don't speak negatively about the other parent, because all of those are hindrances to them being able to develop that relationship. That's what respect looks like when we're talking about making sure that you are a co-parent with respect. Okay, the next one, what does communication look like? Remember, I said be a parent that knows how to communicate. And so communication looks like sharing information as soon as possible, making sure that you don't leave out any important information. And I'm going to stop at this one for a minute because this is an important one. When we talk about communication and we're talking about you have to be able to communicate with the other parent, this is your child. Just like you want information about your child, you want to know what's going on with your child. Make sure that other person has the same information. Sometimes the custody is split 50-50. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes one person has all of, they have total custody, but you still want to make sure that the other parent is aware of what's going on. Okay. Next one. Make sure that you are transparent and clear. Transparent and clear. And I'm going to go ahead and say the next one. Make sure you are available for the communication and make sure that there's a reliable person that gives you the information when you aren't available. Sometimes people can dislike the person so much, they make sure they give them misinformation. They don't give them all the information. Or if you're not available, make sure the person that's given the information to you, that they don't have such a dislike for the person that they don't tell everything accurately. Because remember, this is your child. This is your child, and you're trying to make sure you communicate exactly what needs to be said and what needs to be done. Let's just say that your child is in school and they're either in a play or they're in the band or they're in track, and you want to be there for that performance or for that activity, and you've given the wrong information. You're not hurting your ex partner, you're hurting your child because they're the ones that wanted to see you there. And so it doesn't matter if you like your ex partner or not, this is about your child. So keep remembering, we're talking about communication, you have to remember this is about your child. So if you're not giving the information, your child is the one that's being hurt. So many times parents think that they're hurting the other spouse. I'm not going to tell them anything. I'm going to make sure they miss it. They don't care if you miss it, but the child will care. So remember in the beginning, I said to make sure that your child is the most important. And this is about your child. You want your child to know that they're important. And one way to know that they're important is that you keep the communication open. Okay. And the last one says you want to be a co-parent that is cooperative. So what does cooperation look like? Cooperation looks like being flexible and open to compromise. That's that word, compromise. A lot of times, in co-parenting, don't want to compromise because it looks like I don't want the person to win. It's not about winning. Again, it's about your child. And being cooperative may sometimes look like getting help from an outside source. If you two can't get it together, if you can't agree on something, then someone else may have to help you, like a coach. That's one of the things I do is I do blended family coaching. And in my coaching, sometimes the parents don't agree. So you need that impartial person to kind of help bring some clarity to what's going on, some clarity to what's being asked, clarity to what's being done. And so compromise may look like we need to get some help and not like think that, oh, we can figure it out together. That was one of the things with me and my husband. We had to come together and realize that we didn't know how to figure this out. So we had to get help. That's what compromise may look like. And then showing your child that you can agree on what's best for them. Another biggie. Just because you don't like each other doesn't mean that you can't agree on what's best for your child. Matter of fact, that's what you need to do is agree on what's best for your child. And so those were some of the things that I had as a takeaway to help you to be able to, even if you don't like your other ex-partner, you still can co-parent health. You can co-parent in a healthy way. So here's another video that's going to tell you and show you some more ways that you can be able to co-parent your child in a healthy way. So if this helped you, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click the like button, because you remember that the algorithm needs to show for YouTube that this is a video that people like. And if you like the video, share it to somebody that you think would benefit from the video. And again, my name is Lois. And if you look at the description, I have a coaching program. And in my coaching program, this is some of the things I do is I help parents to have a healthy relationship with their co-parent. And sometimes it is hard, because if you don't like that person, then you may tend to want to back up from them. But you could still not like the person and still be able to communicate in a healthy way, as long as you know that your child is the most important person. So go ahead again, check out the video. I'll put it in the description, and I'll see you at our next live.